So we got to glue just along these edges and these edges. This is the top part of our zipper. Yeah, that is the top part of our of our lining. So we lay that facing downwards and we turn it around, pull this up, and we lay the bottom part facing upwards. It's a little tricky, but that is how it's done. This is how it is done. Now we're going to flip this back around, and the bottom part we pull down. So we are going to undo our zipper. I mean, you know, open it. You know, we're going to open it, and what we're taking into consideration here is this line right here, where the edge of our zipper here on the body of our bag should be the same height with the lining. That is what we take into consideration here. That is why we open our zipper, in order to get that line. Once we have it, we press down a little bit, just a little. Then we're going to flip that over. This is where we press down. So we're going to follow that line straight across in order for our seam to catch the stitches that we're doing, to lay flat on the lining. So to speak, we want the stitches to lay right around this point here, right there. To make a good pocket, inner pocket, this is how it is done. I don't know if we can see it, but that is what I did to make sure that the bottom part of our lining is the same height with the edge right here. That is what I did. So to stitch our zipper, this is how we're gonna lay it on the machine, this way, like that. Both parts, you know, the top part, we stretch it upwards, the bottom part downwards, and we will stitch the bottom part first. From this point right here, you can start midway, but I like to start from the top edge here. I like to start right here. We stitch from here all the way to this point right here. Then we're going to lay that flat, and then we stitch from there all the way to this point right here. That's how it's done. Oh, that's how we at Pro Mega Leather, that's how we do it. Okay, I'm going to stitch that off camera. yeah, I decided to do it on camera so we can see what I'm doing. Okay. So it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like this on the outside, and it's gonna look like this on the inside. So we're gonna lay this down flat. And we're going to stitch from here all the way. It's gonna look like this in the back, and up front it's gonna look like this. So these are the ring keepers. So we're going to, you know, put this together. We're going to put this together right now. So this is how it's gonna look. This is how it's, you know, it's gonna look. And front side, it's a little paint, something there. I'll take that out. To hand stitch is practice. It's practice. It's by, you know, hand stitching is basically just repeating the same pattern that you're using. Same thing. You don't change the angle of the needles. You don't change the angle you pull in the threads. Basically, that is hand stitching. Now, there is a trick that I want us to take a quick look at, real quick. Now, when stitching your handle and you get to this point right here, I mean, when you get to this point where you started your stitch this way, now you realize that you will have to cross over onto this side. You know, we have already stitched this side. Like as I said, this video is just about hacks and tricks in leather crafting. So you want to cross over to this side. So it's simple. You want to cross over to this side. I don't know if I took the handle off camera for a brief moment. I don't know. So what I was saying is that when you get to this point where you have to cross over to this other side, you know, is simple. This video is about hacks and tricks. You come to the beginning of your stitch here, you cross over. I mean, you put your needle through. Now you see that our stitch line is complete all the way to the beginning of this other stitch line. Okay, you put that needle down, you take this other needle. Now you're not coming to this side, you cross into this side. So you will find that first stitch hole. You go across, you give a little tug, and you continue. Now you see that you are across, you are on this other side. You know, that is a simple trick I wanted to show us. So it's gonna look like this. We're gonna make a line in the middle of the connecting strip. Since it was one, we'll make a line in the middle. We'll divide it by 2, half-inch line. I will have to do that twice because I want to make sure that line is in the middle. So I will take the middle of these two. Now I'm gonna rough I'm gonna rough out the bottom of the body of our bag, both sides, to enhance adhesion when we apply our contact cement to install the bottom. So I rough this out. I think I'm doing that with a 150 grit sandpaper. You know, and when roughing out for adhesion, you got to make sure you rough out about 1/4 of an inch, no more than that. Okay, got that done. Now I'm gonna follow my line. This is where it gets a little tricky to fit in to glue on the second strip. It gets really tricky. It's nothing as good as practice. A couple of times and you will get a hang on it. It's not a difficult task. Once you have that line drawn in the middle, it's easy to connect the both ends. Now, in another video I made, one of our viewers asked how I stitched this other end of the tote bag that I made. And you know, since then I've been really looking for an opportunity to explain this. So, but this is how it's done. You know, the viewer wanted to know if I used a different machine. Maybe I think the best machine that can do this is a post bed machine. you know, but no, I did not use a post bed machine. I used a flatbed. You know, at this time, I just don't see any use for a post bed machine. Yeah, but this is how I did it. So the product is already started taking shape. You know, it's already coming to life. You know, so what we're going to do now is to install the bottom piece. That's what we're going to do. So to do that, we will flip this. So we will apply glue all around and all around the bottom. Now we're going to make use of our four cardinal points. This notch I made on this side and on this side, and remember I told us that we're going to use the center of our connecting strip as our two cardinal points on these ends. So we have the marks there, here, and there. So we're going to make use of those marks now. Line this with this side, then we're going to come to this side, we're going to line this up, then we're going to come to the gusset area, we'll line that up, then we're going to come to this other gusset, we'll line that up, then we'll walk away all around. Now when attaching the bottom to our body of our bag, we have to make sure that these edges are lined perfectly. You know, they should be lined perfectly. If not, the height of our bag is not going to be the same. You know, if this edge overlaps, this side of our bag will be shorter. So we have to make sure we line everything up really good all around. So now I'm going to stitch. Remember I told us that this first stitch, when we attached our piping, I told us that this first stitch is going to be my guideline. Okay, I will have to follow this same stitch all around from this side. So I got that stitched. Still on my flatbed machine. I just followed the exact holes that I punched when I was stitching the piping. I followed the exact holes, set my machine on the same stitch length. That is easy to follow. That is what I did. So I'm gonna flip it around off camera. So the bottom of our bag is gonna look like that. So our little tote bag is started, you know, taking shape.